Hello students, today we are going to revise chapter 2, Interior of the Earth. This chapter is of your geography. We are going to revise this chapter today. We are going to revise first long question answers because your long question answers are covering many short question answers. So open your notebook and book. The first question is, what is mantle? Give its characteristics. Okay, so we have done three layers are there. The outer layer is crust, the second layer is mantle, and the third, which is inner layer, that is core. So mantle is below the earth crust. It is a thick solid layer that lies below the earth crust. That is your mantle. Suppose this is your earth. This layer is your crust. This one, the inner inside which I shaded, it is core, and this part is your mantle. So what is mantle? It is below earth crust, the thick solid layer that lies below the earth crust. The thick solid layer is known as mantle. So what are the features of this layer? It comprises of 16% of the Earth's volume. This layer contains 16% of the Earth's volume. Second point, it extends up to, what is the extent of this layer? The mantle layer extends up to depth of 2900 kilometer below the crust. The outer layer below the crust within the depth of 2900 kilometers, it extends up to on an average depth of 2900 kilometers below the crust. The uppermost mantle are made up of the pockets of molten material called magma. So the upper mantle contains a molten material called your magma. The layer mantle is mixed with the metals and the silicates. It is mixed with the metals and the silicates. So it generally consists of your metals and silicates. If I talk about the temperature of the mantle, the temperature ranges from 1100 to 3600 degrees Celsius. Kindly learn these features because the same features are in the last long question answer. Okay? In the last long question answer, the same features are there, that it comprises of 16% of the Earth's volume. Okay, the upper mantle, it comprises of a molten material that is known as your magma. So it extends up to an average depth of 2900 kilometers below the earth crust. And it is mixed with your metal and silicates. Two materials, it is mixed with metals and silicates. And the temperature ranges from 1100 degrees Celsius to 3600 degrees Celsius. Okay, learn it, give it 2 minutes and learn the topic. Next question is your difference between metamorphic and igneous rocks. What is the major difference between metamorphic and your igneous rocks? Listen, metamorphic rocks, these are formed when there is a change in texture. Metamorphic rocks are formed when there is a change in texture, when there is a change in minerals composition of igneous and sedimentary rocks. The metamorphic rocks are formed when there is a change in texture and when there is change in mineral composition of your igneous and sedimentary rocks. Then your metamorphics are formed. In your metamorphic rocks, it may split up to bedding planes. Okay, beds can be there, layers can be there, where the metamorphic rocks can be found. After metamorphism, rocks become harder than their original form. I told you just now that sedimentary rocks and your igneous rocks, when they are converted into your metamorphic rock, that process is called metamorphism. Okay, after the metamorphism, the rocks, it becomes harder. When the rocks become harder than their original form, like marble, here marble is formed from limestone and your quartzite is formed from sandstone. Okay, marble from limestone, quartzite from sandstone. Now we are doing igneous rocks. When rocks solidified from molten magma. When the rocks become solid, okay, from the molten magma, then your igneous rocks are formed. This generally consists of silicates, means silicon and iron content is there, silicon and oxygen, silicates. Valuable minerals like your iron ore, zinc, copper, manganese, these are generally found in your igneous rocks. These valuable minerals are generally found in your igneous rocks, your iron ore, gold, silver, zinc, manganese, etc. Now the third question which we are going to discuss is rock cycle represent the continuous recycling of the rock's material. Your rock cycle, it generally represent that there is continuous recycling of the materials and converting it into a different types of rocks. So now we are going to do rock cycle. You must have drawn in your notebook and you can open page number A61. This is your rock cycle. As you can see, I have made the diagram over here. So what generally is in your rock cycle? See, first I'm telling you in brief, then I'll tell you in the detailing. See, generally the rocks that forms the earth crust, the rocks that forms the earth crust, it goes through a number of changes, it undergoes through a number of changes. The continuous destroyed and created. The rocks are continuously destroyed and they are continuously created. So first thing I told you that the rocks form the earth crust, these three rocks, they undergo many changes and these three rocks help us to create the more rocks. It is an endless process. The rock cycle is an endless process. The existing igneous and sedimentary rocks, your igneous and sedimentary rocks, these rocks are converted into metamorphic rocks. These are converted into metamorphic rocks due to when they are put under great heat, under great pressure beneath the earth, then the changes comes, the physical and chemical changes comes. When the metamorphic rocks are buried up deep beneath the earth, these metamorphic rocks are buried deep beneath the earth, then due to intense heat and pressure, magma gradually changes into igneous rocks due to crystallization. This is your magma. Metamorphic rocks melts in the magma and this magma generally forms your igneous rocks through crystallization. What is crystallization? When chemical is converted from liquid into solid. So first weathering takes place. The rocks are converted into small pieces, broken parts. Then they are deposited somewhere. Then sediments have come up. Sediments, you know, na, small particles. These sediments, through lithification forms your sedimentary rocks. What is lithification? Converting the sediments into rock. Lithification is a process converting sediment into rocks. Then, due to metamorphism, change under intense heat and pressure, when these rocks are being put, the texture changes, the minerals composition, their physical chemical composition changes. So they form metamorphic rocks. When your metamorphic rocks are put under intense heat, it changes into then magma, and magma changes into igneous rocks through the process of crystallization, converting liquid into solid. Magma only converts through consolidation into igneous rocks, that is extrusive. Okay, this whole process, it keeps on going. This rock cycle, it keeps on going like this only. So thus the rock cycle continues. Till here also you can write the igneous rocks are formed and this rock cycle is continued. These are continuous formation. Again I am telling, listen, due to weathering, when the material is being transported Weathering, you know, na, broken into small pieces. When these big rocks, igneous rocks, are broken into small pieces, through transportation, they deposit somewhere. They form small sediments that is made up of silt, sand. Through lithification means converting the sediments into the rocks. The sedimentary rocks are formed. Then your metamorphic rocks are formed when igneous rocks, okay, and sedimentary rocks, they go through metamorphism. What is metamorphism? Change in the texture, change in the mineral composition, their physical chemical composition when they are put under intense heat and pressure. Then these metamorphic rocks are melted to form magma. Magma then changes into igneous rocks through the process of crystallization. Crystallization is a chemical process in which liquid is converted into solid. I hope you got this answer. Revise it with the diagram. Next question is that with the help of the diagram, explain the formation of extrusive igneous rocks. Open page number A59. This diagram is being made. This diagram, as you can see, open this page number, this diagram. You must have drawn in your notebooks also. So what generally happens in this diagram, what is generally happening, that rocks are formed by solidification of the magma. This is your magma. Okay, the magma comes up the above Earth's surface to form extrusive igneous rocks. Okay, your rocks formed by the solidification of this magma, when these come up above the Earth's surface, these are known as extrusive igneous rocks. See, this is your magma, and here intrusive are formed, intrusive igneous rocks, and here above extrusive igneous rocks are formed here. So how this extrusive igneous rocks are formed? Rocks are formed when this magma solidifies. The rocks include the lava flows from the volcanic ash. See, from here the lava flows here through the cave. Here your volcanic ash is there. Okay, when the volcanic burst out, the volcanic ash is taken out. The rocks include the lava flows and the volcanic ash. In that cave, there is your rocks and your volcanic ash where your lava flows in the vents. So there are two types of extrusive igneous rocks. One is explosive, one is quiet. The explosive type are the result of the volcanic material, like when the volcano is being erupted, the dust, the ash, it comes out. And in the quiet type, lava comes out quietly, it settles down through the minor cracks and fisheries. Okay, so what we have done in this particular extrusive igneous rocks, we did that when the magma solidifies, your extrusive igneous rocks are being formed. These rocks are formed when the lava flows and the volcanic ash. These rocks are generally formed where the lava flows and the volcanic ash comes up, mainly in the basalt. Okay, is the example. Extrusive igneous rocks are of two types. One is explosive, one is quiet. The explosive one, when volcano is being erupted, the dust, the ash comes out. So that is explosive. The quiet types, lava, comes out quietly through the minor cracks and fisheries. Means minor cracks, vents are there through which it comes out. This was your formation of extrusive igneous rocks. Last but not the least question is structure of the Earth's surface. I told you that first question which I am discussing, that will come in the fifth question also, crust, mantle, core. Here we will explain. So the last question is, what do you know about the structure of the Earth? Explain. You know, our Earth is generally covered with land and water. It is covered with 29% of land and 71% of the water, and it generally consists of the three layers: crust, mantle, core. So what comes in your crust? Crust is the uppermost solid layer. Crust is the uppermost solid layer Its thickness is from 5 to 35 kilometers. Okay, the crust is the uppermost layer, the outer layer of the earth is called crust, and its thickness is about 5 to 35 kilometers. About the mantle, I have already told you in the answer number 1. The features you can write over here about the mantle, that its average depth is 2900 kilometer and it is divided into upper mantle, okay, where the molten magma flows. Its temperature is about 1100 degrees Celsius to 3600 degrees Celsius. These features you can write over in mantle. Core is the innermost layer. The innermost layer of the earth crust, means earth, is known as your core. It comprises of liquid core and solid core. Okay, it comprises of outer liquid core and inner solid core. Its radius, I'm talking about the radius of the core, is 3500 kilometers. Okay, crust mantle core we did na. So I'm talking about the radius of the core is 3500 kilometers and it consists of two parts, outer liquid core and inner solid core. The main element which are found in core are two, nickel and iron. These two elements are found in your what? In your core. We did in map work also. Okay, in map skill book page number 5, we did which layer consists of nickel and iron. We did core. It is known as NIFE. Okay, NIFE. Its temperature ranges from 3600 degrees Celsius to 4200 degrees Celsius. Okay, where your mental temperature ends, that is 1100 degrees Celsius to 3600 degrees Celsius, the core temperature starts from 3600 degrees Celsius to 4200 degrees Celsius. That is the temperature of your core. Okay students, let us discuss now the very short question answers of chapter 2, interior of the earth. So first question is, approximately what is the temperature of the interior center of the earth? Very easy. The temperature of the interior center of the earth is over 5000 degrees Celsius. Okay, same from the question, the temperature of the interior center of the earth is about 5000 degree Celsius. What are the main elements of SIMA? SIMA. Si means silicon. Okay, they are talking about SIMA. This means silicon. Ma means magnesium. Okay, these are the two elements, silicon and magnesium. What type of rocks are formed by solidification of molten magma? When your molten magma solidifies, igneous rocks are formed. Which rocks? Igneous rocks. Name the most common plutonic rock. Only one plutonic rock, the famous one we know, is granite. Okay, plutonic rock is granite. Which types of rocks are formed by larger deposits of plants and animals? When your plants and animals, they decompose, they helps in the formation of your sedimentary rocks. Which rocks? Sedimentary rocks. When plant and animal decompose, sedimentary rocks are formed, and solidification of molten magma helps in the formation of igneous rocks. Okay, now we are doing the short question answers. Which rocks are called your primary rocks and why? We know the igneous rocks were the first rocks that appeared on the earth. They are saying which rocks are called primary rocks and why. Igneous rocks, they appeared first on the earth, and all the other types of rocks, they are formed due to igneous rocks only. Okay, so that's why they are known as primary rocks, the main rocks. Okay, why they are known as primary rocks? Because these were the first rocks to be formed, and with the help of igneous rocks only we form sedimentary and metamorphic rocks. So these are known as primary rocks. Next, how are sedimentary rocks important to us? You know, just now I told you that large deposition of your plants and animals are trapped into the sediments. When they are put under intense heat and pressure, coal and petroleum is being formed. When there is dead decaying of plants and animals for many years, they are put under intense heat and pressure, then fossil fuels are formed, that is coal and petroleum. Okay, it contains various types of valuable minerals also, like your manganese, bauxite, etc. The fossil fuels which we obtain from sedimentary rocks are used by humans to fulfill their needs. Okay, in cement, fertilizers, and other industries, these fossil fuels are being used. Next is, how are metamorphic rocks formed? I told you now, the existing igneous rock, suppose this is igneous rocks and suppose this is sedimentary rocks. The existing igneous and your sedimentary rocks, when there comes change in their texture, okay, when they are put under intense heat and pressure, their texture changes, their composition, mineral composition changes. Okay, they look different from the same type of rock. Okay, their appearance, their physical property, their chemical property, it becomes different. So these rocks are very hard and they form metamorphic rocks. Like I told you, one example, slate, marble, graphite, gneiss, these are the metamorphic rocks formed. Okay, these are the metamorphic rocks that are being formed. Like your quartzite is formed from sandstone. Okay, marble is formed from limestone. So these are examples of your metamorphic. Next is, give two examples of the uppermost outer solid layer. This just now we did. The uppermost layer consists of 0.5% of Earth's volume, and it is also known as lithospheric plates. The crust is broken into plates and these are known as lithospheric plates. Okay, its radius is about 5 to 35 kilometers. The thickness of the crust is about 5 to 35 kilometers. Why is the thickness of the earth crust? Next question. Why the thickness of the earth crust varies widely in the continental masses and the ocean floor? This we already did. That CIMA. Just now I told you about CIMA. Your silicon and magnesium. The basaltic layer CIMA directly lies under the ocean floor. This lies under the ocean floor. It is the thinnest part of the earth crust. Okay. The continental areas consist of thickness of about 35 centimeters. Okay. They consist about the thickness of 35 kilometers. Sorry, it is not centimeters, it is kilometers. I told you in this two we are talking about ocean floors and continental crust. So ocean floors are being formed with the help of your silicon and magnesium. Okay, they diversify, they form the ocean floor. This is the thinnest part of your earth's crust, that is your ocean floor. The basaltic layer means in the continental area, the granitic and basaltic layer, they together, the granite and the basaltic layer together form the thickness of about 35 kilometers. The reason is that ocean crust is much heavier and it is thinner. It is heavier and thinner. Okay, but your oceanic crust is sinking and continental crust is lighter. Oceanic crust is heavy na, so it sinks. The continental crust is lighter. So that's why your continental crust is generally not that much heavier. It is generally lighter in weight. But your oceanic crust is heavier in weight, so it sinks. It is your wish you want to write these points or not. You can simply write, with the help of silicon and magnesium, our oceanic bed floors are being formed, and through basaltic and granitic materials present, your continental crust is being formed. Okay, you can write this also, and you can write this feature: the continental crust is lighter, the ocean crust is heavier, so it sinks. Okay, this was the whole chapter. Today we have revised the question answers. It is my humble request that revise the question answers properly, revise the back exercise properly of the chapter. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.